My demonstration video is about getting a horse from pasture to riding ready. This is important to know, that way you can ensure your own safety as well as your horse's. My hope is that by the end of this video, you will have a better idea on how to properly prepare, saddle, and bridle a horse to get ready to ride. Let's get started.
But first, make sure your horse is secured in a safe spot. I suggest using cross ties. I already have this one tied to her halter on this side, but this one will just go on this side. That way she's secure and she can't move while you move on to your first step, which is brushing. I suggest starting with a stiff brush, which you can get all the dust out from underneath her fur and just brush it off. This is a soft brush. It has softer bristles, which you use on her face and legs if they're dusty. I also have a hoof pick here, which I'll show you later how to clean and pick hoofs. And then I have a fine-toothed mane and tail comb. You also can get thicker ones, but I have a fine today. So let's get to it. As I was saying, you start with the stiff brush. Start upright from behind your ears and work your way back, making sure to remove all of the dust and dirt from down beneath her coat and brushing it off, getting ready for your saddle pad. Also, make sure to repeat this on the other side. That way both sides are evenly clean. And then you're ready for your next step, which is hoof picking. Make sure to hold your hoof pick in your dominant hand. What you do is when you bend, you lean into the shoulder, run your hand down the horse's leg towards the hoof, pick it up. When you're picking, make sure to scoot towards you. You should see a perfectly V when you're done and a groove. Her hoof is not that dirty, so I can't show too much. Make sure that there's no pebbles or debris that may injure a horse when you're riding. When it's perfectly clean, you should make sure that you have a good V and a groove right here. Make sure to repeat all those steps on the other 3 hoofs, and then you're ready to move on to the next step, which is saddling. When it comes to saddling this particular horse, she requires a medium in thickness saddle pad. They range from many different thicknesses. This one is a medium, you can see, and it's very helpful, this saddle pad is, because it has a half circle of leather on the front telling you which end needs to be on the front side of your horse. So what you do, make sure you're on the left side of the horse, and then place right over her withers line, just like that, and your saddle pad is on. Next comes the saddle. Do that also from the left side of the horse. Lift and place, making sure it's directly on the pad. Now, the reason I have the stirrup on the other side on top over the horn is because it makes it easier to place on top of the horse when lifting over your head and placing it on. But now what I can do is put it down. Also, I will take the girth and put it down and come back to the left side. Now I have my leather strap on this side, which will be used to connect the girth underneath the horse's stomach. I will put this stirrup over top of the horn, bend down, and grab the girth. Now you can see my girth has 2 rollers, one on top and one on bottom. For the first loop, I will be putting my leather over through the first loop, and then behind you can see the saddle has 2 metal bars. This is where the leather girth comes straight down. I will put it on the second one. And now this time around, I will put it on the second rolling bar in order to tighten. Now horses can actually blow up their stomachs when their girths are being tightened, so you won't always necessarily get to the exact hole when necessary right at this moment. A lot of times what I actually have to do is I walk her up to the arena, and then right before I get on her, I will check it and tighten it again. That way, when that walking will make her lose that air that she has in her stomach, and then you can tighten the girth easier. So for now, she normally is on hole 6, but for now, I will only put her on hole 5. That way it's not uncomfortable for her, and I'll just leave it just like that, and I won't worry about securing quite yet. And then you can put that down, and that's for saddling. Now, on to bridling. And now, finally, the last step for getting your horse from pasture to riding ready, the bridle. First, unclip your horse from their safe and secure area. And then clip the lead line to the halter, that way you always have control over your horse. And today, for showing you how to put bridle on, I have my Western show bridle. The next step, removing your halter from the head of your horse. Make sure to put it over your horse and place it right behind their ears and their neck. That way you still have something to hold on to. Next, what I do is put that over my shoulder. That way I can grab onto it if she decides to suddenly move. And then, for my bridle, I'll put my hand over her head, take the top of my bridle. With my left hand, I'll take my bit and place it beneath your mouth. And sometimes horses don't want to take their bits right away, so what you can do is use your thumb, put it right in the cheek, the corner of their mouth, that way they open their mouth. And then you can put it on just like that. What you do next is slip one ear and then the next ear with your bridle. And then most bridles also have little earpieces that can adjust from either ear. I like to put it on her left side, like that. Final step, take your halter off the horse's head. Take your reins out of the halter. Hang your lead rope and your halter, that way there's nothing for your horse to trip on. And just like that, you're ready to go for a ride. Let's review. First, make sure your horse is in a safe and secure area before beginning to saddle. Second, for brushing, start with the stiff bristled brush and brush both sides, removing completely all the dirt and dust. Third, make sure for your hooves you clean all four, and make sure before you're done with all four, you see the V and the groove clearly. That way you make sure there's no dirt or rocks in any of the hooves that maybe would injure your horse while riding. Fourth, make sure that you have the proper thickness of saddle pad for your horse, and make sure also that it's on the right way on your horse. Fifth, for a saddle, don't worry too much about the girth if you can't get it tight enough, because the horse can blow out their belly, and normally it's solved after just a little bit of walking. And also make sure you're on the left side of the horse for doing the pad and the saddle. Lastly, and sixth, the bridle. Make sure your horse always has something around their head, that way if they get spooked or startled and they try to run away, you can catch them easily. And don't forget the thumb trick. If they don't want to open their mouth for the bit, you can put it in the groove of their mouth and they'll open. So I hope you guys have learned a little bit about saddling a horse. If you ever are going to need to do so in the future, you can surprise whoever you're with what you've learned.